Hi, my name is Mark Wiggins, and I want to welcome you to my channel, What Burns My Ass. Hi, welcome back to my channel, What Burns My Ass. This is the channel where I tell you things that burn my ass, and you tell me whether or not they burn your ass too. So this is going to be an impromptu video because I want to go back to the roots of my channel, even though the roots of my channel aren't very deep. And I want to speak openly and directly to my audience because I just don't want to do overlaying commentary on video footage because that's what most of the other channels do. I want to discuss the current position on the state of our election right now. And I want, and Harris is not a strong, viable candidate. And if she had a solid plan for her future, I would vote for her, but she doesn't. And that's what scares me. Otherwise, I would vote for her in Walls without hesitation if she did. And so, unfortunately, that's not the hand that we've been dealt in this scenario. So recently, Kamala Harris just did an interview with Dana Bash on CNN, and it was basically a fiasco. Her answers were vague, they were generalizations, and she just repeated everything that she said in the past. And unfortunately, it really didn't tell the American people where she really stands on a lot of things, at least not honestly. She was discussing things like, immigration and fracking. And in the past, she's been, I'm unequivocally against anything that involves fracking. I'm unequivocally against, being against free, open immigration. That she wants to give, she believes everyone in America, immigrant, legal or otherwise, deserves housing and food and medical care. But the American citizens aren't afforded that same luxury. We have to earn it. And so I believe so should be the unvetted immigrants that have entered our country as well. And then the interview also included Walls, which he basically obfuscated from answering the question because Dana Bash asked him about the stolen valor question. And he bounced around it, and he basically didn't directly answer it. And here's the thing. Walls was in our military for 24 years. He became a sergeant major, which is extremely admirable. Thank you, Mr. Walls, for your service. Our country is grateful to you. And I think you're a very honorable man when it comes to what you've done for our country. But then you turn around and you lied for several years running as a politician about the rank you left on and then the fact that you were in combat situations. Why? What you did was admirable enough. There's no reason for that. And just come out and say, listen, maybe I was bragging and I didn't realize I was doing it. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I'm proud of my service. And you know what? That would be a completely respectable answer. But that's not what he did. And I don't understand why a lot of our politicians just can't come out and say things like that and take responsibility for their actions or things that they said that were inaccurate. But that's just not going to happen in this country. And here's what makes me mad. That allows voters to believe things that are not true. Like when Joe Biden repeats the fact that Donald Trump said that all veterans are suckers and losers. That's been vetted multiple times. He never said it. But Joe Biden vigorously said it during the DNC. And everybody knows it's a lie. Or even Kamala Harris when she repeats that Donald Trump said that there's good people in North Carolina that are in the KKK. I mean, it's been vetted a million times. There's no reason to go over that stuff. And yet she continues to repeat the lie, and people still believe those lies. And no matter what you tell them, you're not going to break them from it because they've been brainwashed. There's no other word, or they're lemmings. They just follow each other off the cliff. Because no matter what she says to the American public, or no matter what everybody proves negative about Kamala Harris, and the same thing was happening with Joe Biden, because they are not Donald Trump, everything that's said against them is a lie that they don't like. and you can't get them to believe it. It's just not possible. It's just not. And let me tell you something about Kamala Harris and immigration. This is why I don't believe what she said. So she said in the prior interviews when she was running for president in the past and in other elections she ran in, she's 100% against fracking, she's 100% immigration. Yet here she is for 3.5 years not doing anything about it at all. And then she turns around and says, after Dana asked for this, so why did you stay your stand? And she said, let me be clear. I have not changed my moral values, which contradicts the fact that she said that she's changed her mind. If you haven't changed your values, what you're saying, what you are for now is against your values, like clean energy, the Green New Deal, all that stuff, which you mentioned in your interview. That goes against that. So if you haven't changed your moral values, then you are actually legitimately against it. And you're just lying to the American public in the hopes that they believe it and they vote for you based on those lies. It's not right. That's why we don't believe you. Another thing I noticed about her, too, is if you look at her during the interview, her face is very puffy. Her makeup is horrible. And you would think that going on national TV that they would do her makeup before the interview, or she would have done it, or she would have her own makeup artist and look her best on national television. But if you look at her, it looks like she was on a weekend bender. Listen, I was in the military. I see a lot of faces during PT at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I could tell my buddies and I, or when they've been out drinking, and I, of course, I look the same way a lot of times too. But you could tell, and that's exactly what she looked like. She looked like she had been on a weekend bender. And I don't see how people don't notice that. And she's been rumored to be an alcoholic, so it all kinds of fits. It all kind of fits. But anyways, it's speculation. I'm not going to say that it's definitely the case, but it's kind of fishy. It smells like a fire, And anyways, so I don't believe her when she says that she's flip-flopped on all these things. I just don't see her doing that. And when she was Attorney General in the state of California, she oversaw a lot of immigration issues, and she was completely okay with it. And recently, Gavin Newsom, even though the state of California is $54 billion in the red, just recently passed a law to give unvetted illegal immigrants $150,000 to buy a home. What I mean, and I know she's for that. I guarantee you she probably will validate that and probably agree with the fact that he passed that. And here's the thing, we've been talking about reparations for years for African Americans. Wouldn't that be a good start to give African Americans in this state $150,000 towards a house? Wouldn't that be a start towards reparations? But no, instead he's giving it to illegal immigrants because he thinks it's going to garner him votes. And that's not right. I think African Americans should get them first, and then maybe even veterans next. Then, if there's money left over, immigrants. But there is no money left over because the state of California is $54 billion in the red. So to me, this is criminal. This is negligence as a public official. It's negligent. You can't be in the red and then give things millions and millions of dollars away free to just anybody. I mean, or to people that just walked over the border. I can't even begin to understand how you justify that at all. And considering that, her campaign is fading. I mean, everybody thought there was going to be a big bounce after the DNC, and there wasn't. And I also noticed, I saw something. I started to really like Chris Cuomo, and he's a Democrat. He's a diehard Democrat. But recently he was at the DNC, and he pointed out the boxes above the stadium that were filled with millionaires who donated anywhere from $500,000 to over $1 million for those boxes. And they're looking down at the people. And yet the Democrats are saying they're for low-income people and middle-class people. But they're letting these millionaires line their pockets. And you don't think that they're going to end up being obligated to do them some favors in return for a $500,000 donation or $1 million donation? See, this is the thing Bernie Sanders talking about, oligarchies. And I actually believe that that's actually what's going on in this country. And I can't believe Chris Cuomo actually pointed out he's so smart about so many things, and he's so fair when it comes to so many things. I just don't understand how he justifies for wanting to vote for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, because everything that he says he stands for actually goes against what they're proposing. So I'm a little bit baffled. I just don't get it. And here's another problem in this country. My utilities have gone through the roof. My highest bill in the last several years was like $120. My last bill was $400. My groceries, I could do a month's worth of groceries for under $200 or a little over $200. Now that's only going to give me 2 weeks worth of groceries. Gasoline is costing still in this state almost usually $4 or more. And these are all based on things that Joe Biden did as policies over the last several years. And yet nobody's holding him accountable or Kamala Harris accountable for that. And I just don't understand how you can do that. Where's your mind? I mean, you got to put the pieces together to make the puzzle and see what the picture is. And all you're doing is looking at shiny puzzle pieces and saying, oh, that's it. That's what I want. But if you put it together and saw the whole puzzle, you'd be like, no, this is not the picture I wanted. And people don't see that. I think that's a great analogy to why people still consider voting for Kamala Harris and Walz. And here's the other thing. I mean, we're being nickeled and dimed to death in this country. I mean, my insurance went from $179 to $379 in 2 years. How is that feasible? And yet lawmakers and our politicians aren't trying to fix any of that. I don't think half of them are even aware about it, especially I don't think Kamala Harris is. I don't think she knows anything about that's going on. And she says she does in her speeches, but I bet you $1 million if you asked about it, she wouldn't know anything about it. I just don't. I don't see her being concerned with those type of small items. So I don't want to sit there and just bash her because I don't hate her. I just don't understand her policies, and I don't understand Walz's policies, and I don't understand how people can, even though I don't like Donald Trump personally, I still say people should vote for him because of the deficit we have right now. The chances of our economy collapsing is pretty good. And I just can't see her handling a collapsed economy. I just don't. I don't trust her to do so. And so, anyways, those are the reasons that I think the interview was a fiasco. These are the reasons why I don't trust Kamala Harris. And those are the things that burn my ass, and I think they should burn your ass too. I want to thank you for watching my channel. I want you to know that I'm also on Rumble right now. I just want to let you know that as well. So if you want to watch me on Rumble, that'd be great. I'd greatly appreciate that. Thanks for watching, guys. And just remember, what burns my ass probably burns your ass too. Thanks.